All right, so we're going to talk about how Khan Academy's AI shows how businesses will level up. So I don't know if you saw this, Neil, but I watched a TED Talk with Salman Khan. I think it's Salman Khan or Sal. Let's just call him Sal Khan. So he's the founder of Khan Academy, which is an online education website where they give education away for free. And Bill Gates, other people have invested in it. So Neil, did you see that
It's a
TED Talk where
nonprofit. It's a
it's a
nonprofit,
nonprofit?
no?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a nonprofit, and they teach a lot of stuff like physics or math or whatever. And Sal was the guy that behind it. He would whiteboard a lot of this stuff, and he was the original teacher. And now they've scaled out. So he did a talk at TED, which was hosted in Vancouver a couple weeks ago, and a lot of talks at TED they focus on trending topics and current events and things like that. And AI was obviously a trending topic right now. So it was showing basically a Chat GPT model, like Chat GPT 4, teaching kids. And so, Neil, imagine your two kids, let's say Emma, for example. So, Neil's daughter, she is learning algebra. Now, instead of asking for the answer, the GPT will be like, oh, like, we can't give you the answer, but you can ask me, like, where am I getting blocked right now? And it'll actually help them solve the problem. So, you basically have
That's
tutors at
cool.
scale. Yeah, you can basically point out, like, hey, I'm not going to give you the answer, but here's where you're going wrong right now with your code or with your math right now. And you basically have these AI tutors at scale. And now think about that's great for education, it's great for your kids, but now you have a bunch of coaches for your entire business. And if I rewind a week ago when we did the Turkey mastermind, we were so one of the problems people were facing was people are just tired of being daddy for their business, right? They're tired of being mommy, they're tired of being daddy, and meaning that people will come to them with problems. And usually what we call that is people will come with a monkey on their back. So Neil, let's say I walk into your room, I have a problem. I'll just drop the monkey off in your room and I'll leave. So everyone's dropping problems off to their boss or the CEO of the company. And what usually needs to happen in an organization is people just need coaching. And the way I look at this is, oh my God, this is coaching at scale now where you have, I don't know about you, Neil. Actually, I do know, Neil. You're not a patient person, nor am I. And so I've read a lot of books on coaching, the Socratic method. Oh, why the five whys? Oh, why do you look at it this way? What about this? Have you thought about it this? It's like, no. I just get to the point, right? But that's not ideal. People need to be coached. People need to learn. And now you have an AI that's very patient that will coach someone 24/7. Okay. The way I look at it is productivity is going to skyrocket.
But I don't know about that. I think some productivity will go up, but not all. And I'll give you a great example of this. So I'm on this text thread and we call it alpha. And there's a handful of us in there, and people are always asking, hook me up with the alpha. They're pretty much saying, hook me up with some good trades or anything that'll make them some money. So one of my buddies said, oh, check out this stock. It should tank. And I think it tanked around 40% in a few days.
Did you
And
short it?
the other buddy was just like, I didn't end up shorting it. I've been traveling in Brazil, so I missed it. So the buddy who said that, he responded a few days later. He's like, hey, did you get the alpha? And the other guy was like, oh, I didn't know what to do with it. And I responded at that time, I'm like, you should have shorted it. He's like, how do I do that? And it's, dude, go call up Fidelity. That's where he has some of his money, right? I was like, go call up Fidelity and ask them, or Google it. He's like, that's not that helpful. But it's just, if they're not willing to take the time to research how to get it done and they just want someone to spoon feed it, you won't, for those kind of people, the AI or the coach won't help either, because they're not going to ask the coach questions. They just want someone to tell them the answer, and they don't want it to be an AI. They just want you to go and do it for them. And if people have that mentality, they're screwed in life. There's just some people that I've seen and I know, and some of them are good friends and I love them to death. They're just not willing to go take the time and research. If they were told to go and short it, but they didn't do it because it's not that they didn't want to do it, they don't know how to short, yet they didn't ask Google or call up their brokerage or anything like that, they're not going to figure anything out. And the same goes with marketing. If there's some latest and greatest SEO tactic, or you and I have talked about creating carousels and they still work really well on LinkedIn. But if someone doesn't know how to do it and they're not taking the time to ask the coach or research it on their own, you're shit out of luck. They're not going to get the results anyways. But yes, I do think AI is going to help a lot of industries, including marketing, and it could be a great coach, assuming the inputs are accurate. If the inputs are great, and they're not outdated. And I think this is going to be a tricky part with marketing, because if it's crawling everything and the AI needs to be trained to A, pick up accurate information. So how do you know what's accurate and what's not? And B, only recent information, because a lot of these algorithms on these platforms change on a daily basis. I think Google does what, somewhere around 8 or 9 algorithm updates a day. A Search Engine Land had an article about that a long time ago. If they're taking old articles that are a few years old and some that are inaccurate, people are going to have coaches giving them misinformation. And that's going to be a huge issue in marketing because things change on a regular basis. What was valid and correct 2 years ago may be wrong today.
Yeah, so there are a couple things. I believe now with ChatGPT 4, there's ability to browse the active web, so it doesn't go 2 years back. So there could be misinformation, there could be outdated information for sure. And I do agree, the majority of people don't know how to ask questions. But also, I believe I think we can agree for the most part. You and I both went to public schools, I believe, in the United States, that the education system is outdated and frankly broken. And I believe this way of teaching is going to be a new way of teaching, which will be a net gain across the board on how kids go about asking questions, how they go about learning, because the way we have been taught to succeed or learn has been more of something from like the industrial age where we're taught to just be cogs in the wheel. Whereas if you really do want to win today, you have to learn to think for yourselves and things like that. And I believe these models will facilitate that.
Yeah, no, totally. And look, I think you hit the nail on the head in which people have to get used to a new style of learning, and they have to be proactive themselves and they have to be passionate about the topic, or else they're not going to want to continually learn about it. But AI, fast forward many years, I think this type of coaching models can help really well in marketing or any type of model, especially in business. It can make it more effective. You can also bring different people's perspective, and you can even have AI, let's say, crawl your whole blog, right? Eric and I have written a lot of blog posts, so you can take the people that have a lot of similar thought processes, assuming you want your team members to follow those approaches, and tell the AI coach, hey, when people ask marketing questions, pull from this repository because this is the stuff we want our team to actually be leveraging.
All right, so we hope you enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. It's really helping us shoot up the rankings again, so please do it, and maybe we'll call you out on the podcast. And have a good rest of your day.